Let's catch up with some Spurs news, including the Spurs bringing back a familiar big man, and Wemby gets animated.
You are Locked On Spurs, your daily San Antonio Spurs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hey, welcome back to Locked On Spurs here on the Locked On NBA Network. I'm your host, Jeff Garcia, Spurs writer for Kens 5 San Antonio. Glad to have y'all back. Hope you're having a great day. And as always, we thank y'all for making Locked On Spurs your first and only spot for all things San Antonio Spurs. You guys are there every day. Keep on subscribing wherever you get your favorite podcasts, iTunes, Spotify, Kens 5 Plus app, YouTube. You know what to do. Go do that right now. What is that? Subscribe ASAP. Hey, what are we talking about today? We're going to catch you up with some Spurs news and notes that you may have missed, including the Spurs bringing back Bismack Biyombo. What does that mean moving forward? Does it really move the needle at all? Also, Wemby gets animated. It went viral a couple days ago. Wemby is doing his voice acting debut on the popular show Futurama. So much more, including we're getting some feedback already from fans who did the fan tryout for that Wemby section. You know, he's trying to create that ultra section that, praise fans, hype fans. Well, fans have been leaving some comments about their experience. We're going to talk about that. And then also talk about some Locked On Spurs fan comments as well. Let's go bring him back, everybody. He is back audio only today because he's a busy man. He is Rudy Campos of Sweep the League. Check out that logo there. Nice logo, Sweep the League. You know what, Rudy? It kind of gives me vibes of the Thunder logo, though.
Oh, see, now you're throwing me under the bus using the Thunder logo. No, definitely not. It's a rebrand. Add more color to it. We're still using the old brand for marketing for like merchandise that we're releasing. Kind of like the throwback logo that we used to have, but this is going to be the new rebrand here.
Awesome. Well, go ahead and make sure to follow Rudy on X at Sweep the League and check out his show on YouTube, Sweep the League as well. It's a great show. He did one a couple of days ago. It was a quick one. He took a lot of NFL questions. So if you want to take a break from NBA/Spurs talk, go to Rudy's show, Sweep the League. As you can tell, Rudy's audio only today. He's at work, so we're going to get this going right here on Locked On Spurs. And right away, Rudy, the Spurs continue to tinker with the roster. They bring back a big man, Bismack Biyombo. He is back. The Spurs announced it a couple of days. There's no excuse for this team to not have size at the big man department. It's now Bismack, Wemby, Kornet, Olynyk. This team is stacked with big man. But why do you think they brought back Bismack?
So Bismack brings basically the same thing that Olynyk and a little bit of what Kornet brings, and that's veteran leadership, especially at the big man position. A position on the team that was so thin in past years. They basically went out, said, you know what, we've got to shore up the front line. But also one thing that maybe people aren't considering is the fact that we saw Wemby have some health issues last year, so they don't want to be put in that kind of spot again where you're relying on a guy like Mamu who, is a great player. He played great for the San Antonio Spurs, but it was the inexperienced part that we saw, that we saw them get in trouble a lot there with that. Also, the fact that you've got Jeremy Sohan probably playing out of position, maybe at the center position from time to time because Wemby being out. This time around, they've just shored up the front line. They've added some great leadership, some great veteran leadership, some great depth. You've got championship experience, with Kornet and Olynyk. So, they've done a fantastic job. And that's why you bring back Bismack Biyombo, because you want to make sure that if something does happen to Wemby, you are taken care of, in the front line.
Yeah, last season he played 28 games with the Spurs, averaged 5.1 points per game, 5.6 rebounds in about 19 minutes per game. He had 3 double-doubles last year. He's still serviceable as a big man. I'm expecting him to get a lot of burn next season, Rudy, because of the players that are ahead of him, Kornet, Olynyk, and obviously Wemby. But it's a great insurance plan to have should anything happen to any of the big men, not necessarily just Wemby. And also, too, he was applauded a lot by the players last year for that locker room presence. They also said they called him Biz and Uncle Biz. He's that old, and he's not old, obviously, but for NBA standards, he's a solid veteran. Again, bring back some steadiness in the locker room and on the court. But again, not really a needle mover here. Again, just more veteran presence. That's what I see it as. And again, an insurance policy, nevertheless. But it looks like the Spurs are still not done tinkering their roster already. But you're seeing them do filler signings and a lot of training camp deals, exhibit 10s, Austin Spurs guys. But it gets the vibe right now, Rudy, that this is the team they're going to go to war with, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they should be commended and applauded for the offseason moves that they made. Being able to draft two great rookies in Dylan Harper, Carter Bryant, making those significant signings because we knew they were stacked at the guard position. They needed to get bulky down below, and that's what they did. They went out, their priorities were to sign guys that were going to make impacts, and it would actually benefit Wemby because now you've got players that can come in, spell Wemby for a good amount of time. We've seen the health issues with him. We're hoping that all those are behind him and he comes into the season 100% and plays, at least the 70 plus games that we're expecting him to play. So yeah, the offseason, this looks like the team that they're going to go in with, and it's not a bad deal at all. They built a tremendous team all the way from the roster, all the way to the coaching staff. So, I mean, this team is primed and ready to go for this season. I'm expecting big things from them.
Yeah, exactly. I'm expecting at minimum the 65 game threshold for Wemby to qualify for various postseason awards. Yeah,
Absolutely.
I would hope he does because he should have been Defensive Player of the Year already, by now. I mean, I still argue he should have done it in his rookie season.
Back.
Yeah, back to back, something. So you could expect Wemby definitely to play at minimum 65 or more. Obviously, we all want him to see play more than that. But nevertheless, yeah, it looks like the Spurs are finalizing that final roster. Media Day's right around the corner. It's at the end of this month. Hopefully we'll get a Spur to come on during that day to right here on Locked On Spurs to talk about the season and whatnot. But yeah, Bismack Biyombo returns to the San Antonio Spurs. All right, when we get back, we're going to continue this Spurs news edition right here on Locked On Spurs. Talk about Wemby getting animated. Yeah, not just on the court, but off the court. You'll see why. As well as some fans already giving us their experience about trying out for that Wemby Superfan section. All that and more right here on Locked On Spurs. We're joined by Rudy Campos, who is talking from above our heads. I just want to get this out of my system real fast before we're going to break. Rudy, can you say, Jeff, you will go to the Dagobah system?
Jeff, you will go to the Dagobah system.
See, I always wanted that to happen. See, I always had that voice in above me to tell me that. All right, coming up next, more Spurs news and notes. Hey, let's talk about Monarch Money. Most people can't name their financial accounts or even know what they're worth, whether it's 401ks, properties, or investments. And whether you don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving money on the table. That's why there's Monarch Money. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or your phone. Monarch is built for people with busy lives. If you've been putting off organizing your finances, Monarch will help you. How about this? Monarch does the heavy lifting. You can link all your accounts in minutes, see clear data visuals, get smart categorization of your spending, and finally feel in control of your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. Hey, can you identify that you're not saving as much as you thought? Monarch can help you. They'll give you a notice of insufficient investment allocation and discover forgotten 401ks from past jobs. Maximizing investments, increasing your savings rate. You can easily review your finances with your partner or financial advisor, keeping a clear view of your financial health week to week and long term. Look, don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONNBA at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code LOCKEDONNBA. And we are back right here on Locked On Spurs, joined by Rudy Campos of Sweep the League, audio only today. Unfortunately, he could not join us by video, but nevertheless, we're glad to have him here. Be sure to follow him on X at Sweep the League. We're talking about some Spurs news that you may have missed, probably heard about, and we're going to give us our reaction. Now, this went viral, Rudy. You probably can't see the photo I'm going to show in a bit, but surprise, surprise, Victor Wembanyama did his voice acting debut on the season premiere of Futurama. Now, truth be told, Rudy, I had no idea Futurama was still going on, but apparently it's still going strong on the Hulu here. And to no one's surprise, he voiced a basketball playing alien. Rudy, did you see that clip that went viral?
I saw very little of it. I know it was a short clip, but I did see a little bit of it. And kudos, man. I mean, it's always for you and I being, the nerds that we are. I think given the chance to be a voiceover for somebody, that would probably be amazing. So kudos to him, man. It's a good experience, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, you mentioned about the voice acting. For those of y'all who don't know, I mean, Rudy's well aware of that. I actually host a lot of the big major San Antonio Comic-Cons, and I get to interact and talk with tons and tons of voice actors. I'm talking about from the Mount Rushmore of voice actors to those up and coming to beginners. But I got to give it to Wemby. He did a pretty good job. Not perfect, but nevertheless, I thought he did great. His comedic delivery was good. They even showed the side of his philosophical side. He's like contemplating with the main character Bender, saying, "Oh, height is not a big deal. You shouldn't be judged by that." And even to how he interacted with the other voice actor and them laughing and pretty much talking bleep about the main character robot of Bender. But for y'all who don't see it, Victor is he made his voice acting debut, and in it, Rudy. The episode revolves around one of the main characters, Bender, trying to get taller and what life is like being a tall person. So obviously you got to go to Wemby, and but it's just ironic that Bender, of all people, goes to basketball players for height advice.
I haven't seen a whole lot of Futurama, but I thought Bender had stretchable arms and stretchable legs.
Where he They explained that in the series, but he was still seeking out what it is to be tall. And even Wemby finished up the episode, trying to give Bender confidence. And then Bender does a smart remark, "Well, I have overconfidence." So other than that, it's out already right now. If you want to see Wemby making his voice acting debut, go for it. But he did a pretty good job. If this was his first time ever doing it, I thought it was I'm going to give it, as somebody who's interviewed so many voice actors in the industry, I'm going to give it a B.
Probably about a B. I was right about a B. I mean, I can't say he's A+ material right now because it was his first time, but I think for the first time having it at a B, that's probably where I would grade him at.
Yeah, and Rudy, I don't know if you can see this, but you probably can't because you're on audio today. But you can. Okay, perfect. Yeah. All right, good. Well, there's the alien that Wemby plays, and they nailed it. They got the little mustache, they got the goatee, they have the #1 jersey. He's also called Wemby Yum Yum in the
I saw that part. The only thing I would have changed was why not put the Spurs colors on that jersey? That would do the only thing.
Yeah, because technically colors don't trigger.
There's no copyright, trademark for any on colors.
Yeah.
So let's start a theory here and say he's going to be traded. Should we dare do that?
No,
I'm just
playing. I'm just playing. What are those Golden State Warrior colors there? I would say that's not a good thing.
Could they be Minnesota colors? Timberwolves?
Minnesota colors, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we're not starting anything. I'm just playing.
No, yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. He ain't, like I said, he wasn't like in the Mount Rushmore already, like Gray Delisle, for those of y'all who know who she is. But nevertheless, he did a good job. But, they captured everything. Look at that. They got the spindly arms on him. They got the goatee, the mustache, and it was his voice. And at the end of the episode, he gets a credit. You'll see guest appearances by, and then it says Victor Wembanyama. But here's the thing, Rudy. This was actually released. This news was actually out on the internet since June, and we missed it. In June, they had announced that Wemby was going to do this. But hey, so it was a good surprise. It's a good surprise. Speaking of voice acting, Rudy, I've tried, and I'm still trying to get DC animated director Sam Liu to get me to do a voice over, like, for anything. I said I'll just scream, or I'll say like, "Oh no, it's Doomsday," and everything. But I think he thinks I'm playing around, but I'm not. Sam, you were watching, Sam. I'm still want you to throw me in there.
Well,
if you can.
I would say if you can't get through Sam, we've made it pretty clear that you become pretty good friends with Johnny Young Boss over the years. So
That's
why
true.
not ask him?
I didn't think about that. Yeah, well, I'll probably see Johnny in a couple months here in San Antonio again. I'll definitely ask him. But even too, our what was our really good friend, other actor out of Corpus, Nathan Ray Clark.
Nathan Ray
He
Clark.
might,
Yeah.
yeah, he might know some people. So who knows? Who knows? But anyway, yeah, that was Wemby getting animated again. The episode is out if you want to check that out right now. And speaking of getting out and showing their stuff, Rudy Spurs fans showed up to the tryouts for Wemby's new section. And I think it right now is unnamed, but it's like a super fan section. They're trying to recreate that soccer, San Antonio FC, Rowdies vibe, but
Yeah.
at the Frostbank Center. So in order to get a seat, though, you had to try out. And yes, you would have to pay $999 to do it. But kudos to Wemby. He's covering the cost for 5 lucky contestants. So we'll see who gets picked there. But trials came and went. And from the video that the Spurs released, looked like it was definitely rowdy. You had like fans cheering. I think one fan accidentally spilled water on Wemby. You also had fans dressing up as Nacho Libre, showing up for the tryouts, and of course, people brought the big drum and banging, "Go Spurs, go!" But I did not I didn't ask for this, but Spurs fans left comments on Locked On Spurs about their experience. Let's go and read a couple of them here, and then in a bit we'll get to some other Locked On Spurs fan comments here. Let's see here. Let me find one here. Here we go. This is from JC -UY80C. Okay, he says the opportunity to audition was cool, free experience where we met Wemby. I'm waiting to hear back to determine the next steps. As pointed out, so it's like they were given a talking to. This is the inaugural of something huge. 1,000 to pursue his season happiness with untold awesomeness? ? Sold. So JC seems like he was all about it. Seems like they're still in the waiting process right now. But again, good on Wemby for showing up and judge it as well. We have another comment here for another fan that tried out. It says, I was number 1 in the line. I was super nervous in front of Vic. But I love the Spurs. I don't drink no more. I never liked clubs. But Spurs games are my club. I would pay $9.99. I would love to be chosen. And I don't know, being number 1 and nervous, I don't know if I got it. So it looks like a lot of fans were nervous about performing in front of Victor Wembanyama. Rudy, do you think you could have done it? Like if you wanted to try out, would you have tried out?
If I had the opportunity, I probably would have tried out. I don't know what I would have done, as far as kind of like a talent show is what it was. I don't know what I would have done talent-wise to be choosing, but I wouldn't have mind tried it out. And it's actually something that I've been talking about a long time ago. How can you not bring that college experience into the NBA? Getting that one section where, for all you Central Catholic guys out there that went to Central, like Jeff and I, we used to have a section called Section R, which was Section Rowdy. And that's experience. It pumps up your team. It gets the crowd hyped up for your home team. I mean, it's a great experience, and I would love to see it brought to the NBA, especially with the Spurs being the ones kind of just like the launch off for it.
Yeah, I saw the pictures. 2 people were lining up at 5 a.m. on a Sunday morning just to be one of the first to try out for this new experience. It's unnamed right now, but I always felt that the Spurs should also bring back the old school fan sections that were way up in the upper deck in the Alamo Dome. Remember, what was it?
Was that Mr. Robinson's neighborhood?
Mr. Robinson's neighborhood. Didn't Avery Johnson also have one too? Like I think they called the Little Generals or something like that.
I think it was a Little Generals, if I'm not mistaken. Sean Elliott, wasn't it like Elliott's Nest or something like that? They had about 4 or 5, if I'm not mistaken.
They did.
I think Antoine Carr had one, wasn't it?
Yes.
The Big Dogs or the Dog Pound or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be amazing right there to get that. And then kind of if you're in, like a section for Darren Fox, the foxhole. I'll call it the foxhole. If they have that,
Nice.
maybe they're able to get a meet and greet with Darren Fox 1 or 2 times throughout the year, something like that. So I think the fan experience is what's going to help the NBA grow more because you've lost a lot of fans throughout the years, incorporating them into games and stuff like that. I think that makes a whole big difference for the fans.
Yeah, and I know when the chief marketing officer, Ariel Wengroff of Ledger, the new Spurs jersey patch sponsor, which she came on, talk about the that side of the business of the Spurs and dealing with them. She mentioned that they're going to be having something special, maybe not for fans, but it's revolving around Wemby. And what she told me is very similar to what baseball does. When our team hit a strikeout, they put a K on the side. So they're going to do it with Wemby for blocks. Every time it's a block, they're going to do something in that vein. So that'll be a fun experience. Yeah, but I really think they should bring back those fan sections. Sure, maybe you're not going to be sitting way up front like this new section will be. They're paying close to $1,000. They better be sitting very close. But you bring it up to the upper deck. Why not? Why not? The foxhole's a good one. What's another good one to see? Can't do Wemby because he'll have his. What about the cornfield for Luke Cornett?
Yeah, could do that. Harper's Hangout.
Harper's Hangout is a good one. Let's see if we think of another one here. See if we can keep this going here. What about Zohan definitely needs to get one. Zohan for sure. I just can't think of one. Jeremy Sohan.
I'm trying to think like the cast, something around that goes to the castle. I mean, that's a perfect last name.
How about that? How about that? The moat.
The moat. Yeah, the moat would be a good one for.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot you can do with a lot of the guys on this team. Keldon's Crazies, that would be a good one.
Yeah, Keldon's Crazy. Yeah, you see, Spurs, we're giving you free gold here. This is gold right now. Yeah. Make it happen. Again, just put in the upper deck of the Frost. You'll be good to go, and fans will definitely want to see it in those sessions. But yeah, I remember back in the day, the Alamo, when they had those fan player named sections. They were fun. I think wasn't it a big deal if you got to sit in one of those sections?
Yeah, and I think the prices were a little bit more expensive, but people paid for them to be in that section because, like I said, it's an experience for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it was like Spurs fans definitely enjoyed that experience. That left comments on the Locked On Spurs YouTube page. So we'll see how the tryouts go. The Spurs, as of this recording, have not made any announcements regarding Wemby's picks. So good luck to everybody who tried out. All right, coming up next. We're going to continue talking about Locked On Spurs fan comments, get into some X's and O's, player rosters, questions from the Locked On Spurs YouTube page fans. By the way, go make sure you subscribe to Locked On Spurs ASAP and join the fun there. All right, coming up next, Locked On Spurs fan comments.
If you're running a business, you know that every missed call is money left on the table. Think about it the last time you tried for something so urgent, maybe a plumber or a service provider. If the first person didn't answer, did you wait? Probably not. You moved on. That's why you need OpenPhone. OpenPhone is the #1 business phone system built to streamline and scale your customer communications, all from an app on your phone or computer. OpenPhone lets you manage your business calls and texts from a single app. Shared inbox feature is a game changer. Your team can jump into any conversation instantly without missing a beat. AI agent handles their after-hour calls, answers common questions, captures leads so you never miss a call. OpenPhone is offering listeners right now 20% off their first 6 months at openphone.com/LockedOnNBA. That's openphone.com/LockedOnNBA. And if you have an existing number with another service, OpenPhone will port them over at no extra charge. OpenPhone, no missed calls, no missed customers.
Yeah.
We're back right here on Locked On Spurs, joined by Rudy Campos of Sweep the League. He is on X at Sweep the League. Check out his show on YouTube, Sweep the League. Do that ASAP. All right, let's go and get some more Locked On Spurs fan comments regarding the Silverback as the offseason is slowly coming to an end. I think it's about a little over 30 days left or something like that, so we shall see. All right, first Locked On comment. Well, we'll keep with the theme here. This is from Mr. Basketball 1712. He says, we should bring the Ultras from Europe. We ain't losing too many home games. I guarantee you we should actually pay them that if they want to come and cheer on the Spurs. if that means more wins, or even give them free beer. So Mr. Basketball is saying, bleep this tryout. Let's just bring in real European fans. You know what, Rudy? European fans, whether it's soccer, basketball, they bring it, don't they?
Oh, they bring it every single game you see. They don't sit down. It's always standing. It's always jumping. They've got the flags. They've got the banners. I mean, they're throwing, smoke. Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy overseas. And being able to talk to Derek Irvin, as much as I do, he always talks about the fans over there, how the experience there is just like you're walking into an opponent's arena and you don't know what to expect. And it's always crazy. So I can understand that, maybe skipping that, but let's be fair and give, Spurs fans an opportunity to see if it works out here first before we start bringing in, the reserves and having them do what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's continue our Locked On Spurs fan comment reaction here. And we got a good one here. This is from Oratreya. That sounds very familiar. That sounds like a geek thing, so I may have to research that. He says, or she says, Spurs are winning the championship, Rudy, if Dylan Harper is the player I think he's going to be. Watch the evolution live. Now, thank you for that comment there, Oratreya, but I got to be honest with you, Rudy. I appreciate the fan excitement for Harper, but I don't see a rookie Harper leading the Spurs team to a championship. It's got to be Wemby.
Yeah, I love the comment. I love the outlook. And, I've had Dylan Harper #1 on my board, pre-draft and all last year. So to me, they got the best player in the draft, but kind of pump the brakes a little bit here. As much as it starts with Harper. Harper is going to play a massive, massive role for the Spurs. It's got to start with Wemby, and then right after that, it's going to be Fox. If Fox and Wemby can continue to dominate the ball, continue to make plays for their teammates, make life easier for everybody else on the court, the Spurs are going to have success from the get-go. But for Dylan Harper, it's going to take a good year, maybe 2 years at the most, before we start to see superstar written all over him. Hopefully it doesn't take that long, but ideally maybe a year or two, and then we're going to start seeing another superstar emerge from the Spurs.
Also, let's not forget, too, he's coming off hand surgery, to repair the left thumb injury, so that's going to delay his evolution, if you will, Oratreya. By the way, if you want to hear more about that injury and what happened at the surgery, go back a few episodes. Dr. Ryan McCorkle came on to talk about the procedure that Harper likely underwent to correct that hand. But all right, there you have it. Thanks for leaving those comments, everybody. Keep them coming. Rudy, we know that you're busy right now, but go ahead and brag about Sweep.
Yeah, so the best thing to do is go to YouTube, search Sweep the League TV, hit the subscribe button so you're not left out. A lot of great shows. Sweep the League TV is the big one. Also, we've got Grid of the Market. We've got Plead the Sith. We got more shows coming out that's already been announced. So to get those announcements, go to YouTube, search Sweep the League TV, hit that subscribe button, and I'll leave everybody with this. We talked earlier about Bismack Biyombo. I did get asked a question about it on a DM. I want to propose it to you, Jeff, and maybe your fans out there would love to talk about it. They said the Bismack Biyombo adds a lot of depth to the Spurs, but it makes me wonder if this makes a player like Sohan more expendable, because his trade value is probably the highest it's going to be than it will be in the future. I don't know if that's true. I'm not saying it is, but I mean, I can see where they're coming from, so I don't know if the Locked On fans have any comments toward that.
See, Rudy, the day that you gotta, cut things short with us, you have to bring that up. Right?
Well, this is how you tease the next. This is how you tease the next episode.
Is it okay? I steal this idea for the next episode.
Absolutely. People ask me questions to ask you all the time, so yeah, definitely.
All right, there you have it. All right, he is Rudy Campos of Sweep the League on YouTube, Sweep the League, and follow him on X at Sweep the League. Hey, Rudy, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us here on Locked On Spurs. Everybody else, we thank y'all for making Locked On Spurs your first listen each and every day. Free and available wherever you get podcast, iTunes, Spotify, Kinsfly Plus app, YouTube. You know what to do. Subscribe ASAP. You guys are the everydayers. We'll be back tomorrow to close out the week here on Locked On Spurs, talking all things silver and black as the offseason comes to an end. So for Rudy Campos, I am Jeff Garcia. We're going to put a lock on this episode of Locked On Spurs.